Mm-hmm.
WR's Four Corner Rants. You can see us on YouTube right now at the HWR show. At the same time on my page, Goldrin's Realm. If you want to join, be part of the interaction, go to straight to HWR. Crap, I just gotta say we are really, and I'll let Zoe Nightshade introduce him. But first, let's go to the rest of the HWR crew. He is my partner in professional wrestling. He is the IPTV guy and the Uber of Westchester. He is Johnny Perez. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Oh man, it's great to be here. Thursday night, Four Corner Ranch. We got a lot to talk about. It's gonna get hot and heavy. And let's everybody remember, let's do some damage. Also, I'm the original Johnny of this broadcast.
Yep, there we go. We're starting already. And let me introduce, he is the guitar plucking, Cajun cooking. He is the incomparable one, Lance Moss. Lance, welcome to the show. And I'm starting to talk like the Uber of Westchester when I say Lance.
Yeah, you know I am Irish, you bastard. But, yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to stay cool because our AC just broke.
Oh.
And it sucks.
Just tie some ice cubes on your head. And she is the vicious vixen of Kentucky's Own Wrestling. She is our one and only Zoe Nightshade.
That's right, boys. Eat your heart out.
There you go. And before we introduce our guest, he is the CEO of HWR. He is the warden of this penitentiary. He is our very own Rick Head. Rick, we're at it again.
As always, Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Four Corner Rants. You never know what the fuck we're going to say. So for those of you who have light skin or weak of heart, you don't want to fucking miss them. It's that simple.
Exactly. And now, I'm gonna let her get the big introductions here. Zoe, you have a special guest from KCW. Let's, introduce him. Yeah, Lance, incredible, isn't it?
Just a delightful introduction.
Right. All right. So, boys and girls, you have the privilege that this man to come out of his day just so that you could listen to him. He is the one. He is the only. He is my mentor and my best friend, Dark Suede.
Well, first and foremost, okay, what was wrong with the long introductions? I mean, good God, get a life. I mean, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares about your introduction.
I'm going to chop you tomorrow, right? Be good.
Okay, but, I mean, these long introductions of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what, just shut up and just say their name. Just get it over with. They're not that important anyway. But, it's okay. Okay. But thank you, Zoe.
I can take that in so many different directions, but I'll leave that one alone.
Yes, I mean, you might want to leave your own name alone. I mean, Johnny is right here, but, they call me Johnny, but they can call me Dark.
Hey,
they can call me Sex Appeal. It don't matter.
Just remember, Bruiser Broad went by a different name in someone else's territory, son.
I know this. So did Steve Williams.
All right, let's move along, guys.
Well, first of all, let's go to the HWR show chat room. It is George. He's already there. He's the winner of our contest last time, so he sends his greetings to everybody. So we're going to start it off. Well, first of all, War Games is coming back to NXT on November 17th. If we remember, we were broadcasting live. We were watching the last War Games, and that was a very entertaining. They had a little spin on it. They didn't have the roof on the cage like the original War Games had, but it was still a great pay-per-view. Rick, let's go to you. What do you think? War Games is back. We were hoping for this. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree, Rick.
every time.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
He is the best when it comes to this, I tell you.
He is the master of silence.
Hold on.
Either that or
Oh,
Randy Orton
there
game in
he is.
RKO.
There we go.
Okay. I'm like, what the fuck?
Finally.
He's back.
I'm back. Yeah, well, NXT looks like it's going to be, this is going to be a traditional NXT show. And then, yeah, absolutely, you know, the two ring, glad to see War Games back in some shape or form. Of course, WWE always had cookie cutter its own little spin on things, but either way, it's great to see it.
All right, let's go to you, Lance. You know, again, we were there last time. We really enjoyed their version of the War Games. It was very true to almost the original.
Yes, it was, except for the whole not having a roof on, but that's okay. And I guarantee the member of Sanity with the long hair is glad he ain't got to do that again. Because he got an ass. It didn't work out too good for him.
Absolutely. Let's go to you, Johnny. You're familiar with Steel Cages, but we're also familiar with the original War Games. This one, I think definitely NXT needs to keep it.
You know what? It's great to see the War Games come back. I've always enjoyed watching the two rings wrapped in steel, only one way out. 10 men in the ring. I mean, I thought the War Games was a way to settle any type of feud that had to do with a faction. It's good that it's coming to NXT. It's really going to boost them up. So I'm really happy to see it. Maybe they'll bring back the Triple Terror of Doom match.
Well, you know what? That's something I don't think they will do, but you never know with WWE. If it's money, they'll try it. Zoe, let's go to you. Not sure if you guys down in KCW ever done the War Games, but we've had our fair share of
I think he has your problem there, Rick.
No,
Okay, well, last time I thought it was me. Apparently it's Joe.
Fucking Skype.
Damn it.
What? I'm here. Zoe, you're next.
Okay. I'm excited for it. I only got to watch bits and pieces of it last time, and the bits and pieces that I did actually get to pay attention to were amazing. I mean, if you want to set off a show, you throw a steel cage out there. I'm telling you, WWE NXT is the indie version. They are the wrestlers of today.
Absolutely. Finally, let's go to Dark Suede. Suede, I don't know if, again, I've KCW ever tried this, but what do you think of the War Games?
Well, personally, been in umpteen cage matches myself. I actually think it's a great deal. I mean, especially with NXT and their brand, and they're trying to up and come. Trying to do like a modern day NWA. But to my knowledge, like I said, it takes apart your body and your career. As like I said before, to me, it's rough. It's not a cakewalk. If you haven't been in a cage match, it sucks. It really does. Like I said, our cage is a lot different than theirs, but I think they should put a roof this time. I mean, I want to see back like the WCW days, NWA days. Let them not have that fun where they can actually just jump off a cage. I mean, something different. Let them get creative. I think it'll be a different story. I think this time.
Absolutely. You bring up the War Games and the NWA and WCW. We can't forget the greatest factions that were in that, and most notably the Four Horsemen versus the superpowers of Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, and the Road Warriors with Precious Paul Ellering.
Yes, sir.
Then we got to see the NWO's version where they took on WCW, but always the first is always the best. So, November 17th, NXT. And one more thing, I'm going to toss this to you, Rick, before we move on to our next topic. Last time we saw the War Games on NXT, it totally blew the main show's pay-per-view away.
Well, absolutely. And, NXT events tend to do that, even though it's a shorter time, shorter hours. The matches are completely off the table, off the rack. If you guys have not seen NXT or watched NXT, highly recommend it. It probably is as well. WB Bujo from the WTV, he even said it is the savior of the WWE.
Absolutely. Now let's go into something else. As we saw from Extreme Rules and from what happened Monday, Ronda Rousey,
Which is?
Rowdy.
Well,
Ronda
you know what?
Rousey.
Joe keeps on popping in and out. He probably out to get a drink or doing a few other things.
Hey, I'm
we
here.
won't go into that. Use your own imagination.
That's right. I had to go get something. I had to get it.
Ronda Rousey is slated to face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title. Now, I keep on asking myself, why? What has this person done aside from the fact that she's a celebrity to deserve 2 title shots in less than 3 months, where she pretty much spends, her time like Brock Lesnar does off TV? Joe, I got to kick this one over to you. Ronda Rousey, is it really needed?
You know what? The fans can hear me, but this thing is not working for me right now. I hate Skype. This new Skype sucks.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll have to.
No, I'm here.
episode.
I'm here. Did you guys hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now.
This
and
new
we were just,
Skype sucks. Next time we're
Yeah,
going
it
to
does.
try something else. But let me tell you something. WWE is in this situation right now where they paid for Ronda Rousey. They got Ronda Rousey for a year. So they're going to have to make worth of their investment. If it's right now, it's falling flat on their faces. They're trying to get her to work better. And we all know, and I'm going to say it like this. I've been in the business. Johnny's been in the business. Dark Suede has been in the business. Zoe's in the business. It's never easy going from one profession to another. If you don't have a knack for it, it's going to take time. And unfortunately, Ronda didn't have that time. She probably got a cookie cutter training, and they threw her out there immediately just for the cash flow. Am I going to see a title change? Absolutely not. We'll see probably Mickey James get involved and a lot of other things, but I don't see a title change. But WWE has her. They're going to have to use her, and they have to put in high quality matches just to make their money back. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, Ronda Rousey. You've been watching her matches. She's had like 4 matches. Her debut was at WrestleMania with the tag teams, where pretty much Stephanie, Triple H, and Kurt Angle carried the match, and she kind of got a few moves in, and then she got the win. Golf clap into there. And then she did the match with Nia Jax. Nia Jax pretty much dominated the match. And then Rousey was about to get the win, and that's when Alexa Bliss came in, and she won by disqualification. So now she's won 2 matches, even though she's been getting her ass kicked. And now we're on this 3rd match. She spends more time, storming down the ring with that little, mean face, that's supposed to get everybody all intimidated. But it's just a fucking joke. I'm sorry.
All right, then let's go to you. Lance. What do you think? Do you think Ronda deserves this shot?
No, it's way too damn soon. Simple as that. It's too damn soon.
All right, Johnny, let's go to you. What do you think? Yep, that's what I think.
No, I was on mute there. You know what? They got to make their money back, like you said, Joe. They put so much into this girl. They got to do something with her so that they can get back. I don't see her winning the title anytime soon. I think she still needs a lot of in-ring work. But give or take maybe another 8 months before I can see her win the title.
All right, so let's go over to the 2 active wrestlers in our group. Zoe, you know what? I'm going to toss this to you. You've seen Ronda Rousey's performance. You know how hard it is to get in the business, let alone be trained in it. What do you think?
I mean, as far as Ronda goes, the main thing is they're not going to make their money back. I mean, remind you, she got suspended for 30 days because WWE didn't have anything for her to do. Plain and simple. And just like you guys said earlier, you know, whenever you're changing your profession, it takes a toll on you. If you don't get it, you know, stick with something else. Dark Swade, you know, he's known me for the past couple of years. He's seen me go from referee to shy announcer to training as a wrestler to being his manager. And he's been there for me. Every time I would have a breakdown, you know, he would threaten me and say, if you quit, I'm going to kill you because you're too good for this.
Speaking about him, let's go to you, Swade. You know, again, you are, just like Zoe, active on the wrestling scene. What do you think about Ronda Rousey? They gave her that suspension. Hopefully she took advantage of it, and she started training more.
Okay, this is nothing towards women, period, that are in the profession. But she sucks. I mean, she completely, utterly sucks. She can do an armbar, which she knew how to do in
MMA.
Let's see. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. MMA, UFC, whatever you want to call it. I've watched it. I mean, she needs to lose the other stuff. I mean, you're not in UFC or MMA anymore. You got kids out there. I mean, that's what you're portraying. You're not trying to look like a $2 whore. I'm sorry, and I normally don't say that. But when she rolls out there, I mean, in her gear right now, if it was and for her MMA career, but as a wrestler, I do see them putting on the title on her at SummerSlam because they need that money, but I don't want her. It's like Brock Lesnar. Everybody likes Brock Lesnar. It's a draw. You know, she's a draw. They're going to put the title on her so they can shut her up and have a good day with it. That's what they're going to do.
And he makes a valid point when it comes to that, because the title can be put on and she could end up being a transitional champion. As long as you have that one title reign, you're pretty much set. The media will go frenzy. Ronda Rousey is the women's champion, WWE. But you know what? Before we go into the other segments, did everybody catch the new Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team?
Yes.
Yeah.
These guys, not only do they deserve that title, but they're just running with it. They're having fun with it. It's just, they deserve it, and I think they finally found their niche. So we're gonna go real quick around the table regarding this, and then we're gonna go into the main topics. But I just wanted to throw this in. Let's go to you, Swade. What do you think of the B Team?
Well, like I said, I mean, I've been a fan since I was a kid. Watching, I can't call him Kurt Axel. Joe Henning is like his dad. I mean, he's a great performer. He was just underused for so many years when he was part of the Nexus and everything. Joe is a great talent, and Bo is, when he went as, they underused him too. I mean, these guys are very talented. They're underused so much. They deserve it. I mean, yes, they deserve it, but do they deserve to be up top more? Yes. And that's like the Ascension. Yes, the Ascension has been buried. I mean, granted, they're down there, but they deserve it. Everybody deserves their shot. I mean, we're not Cena. We don't get chances after chance and kisses everybody's butt. Sorry.
Absolutely. Johnny, you were a part of a tag team championship team. You know, what do you think of them?
You know what? I remember the Job Squad that was out in the WWE back in those days. Who was in that?
Well, it was
Al Snow. Al Snow was like the leader, and a couple other guys.
There was quite a few.
Holly, I think Meanie was in there.
Yeah, and this
Hardcore
reminds
Holly's
me.
nephew, I think, was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash.
This reminds me of that group actually winning something. You know, I think it's great for the B Team. I think it's good for them. They finally, like you said, they found a place for them. The B Team is good. It's a good character for the tag team. They built it up. They won the titles. They might not have it for long, but at least they can say they were tag team champions.
Well, you know what? Lance, I'm going to disagree with him on that. Right now, WWE is suffering on teams when they have to depend on Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt to be a tag team. You know, again, I think they're going to keep the belts for a while.
Nobody keeps belts for a long time nowadays, Joe. You know that.
Unless your name is Brock Lesnar, but then again, you don't show up half the time.
So, Lance, the B team, what do you think?
Well, long story short, two guys that had put in a hell of a lot of work. Personally, not my taste in tag wrestling, but hey, it is what it is. They overcame two kind of pretty crappy gimmicks to get over with the fans. So, hey, awesome.
Absolutely. Zoe, let's go to you. You know, these guys have been through a lot. They were the part of the Miztourage. Now that they went on their own, again, they've just been more funnier. They've been, you know, now they're tag team gold. Even their wrestling has improved. Their double teams and sneak moves, like I used to call them, are really improved.
I mean, I absolutely love the B team because, I mean, they have all this energy. Like you said, you can tell they've been working too. They have been given crappy gimmick over and over and over again. But here's the thing, they didn't complain. They made it work. They made it into their own. And now look at them. I hope they do hold the titles for quite some time. I like them.
Yep, that's finally on to you, Rick. You got the final word on the B team.
You know, I'll be honest with you, for a long time I never thought much about them, but as they started to develop, I think after the Miztourage kind of left and they kind of had to figure out what to do. When they started to announce themselves as the B team, and I'm like, really? But they kind of kept the gimmick in full swing, and sometimes when you keep it, people eventually buy into it. People eventually, and I have to admit, I was one of the guys that's I'm kind of sold on the concept. Do I think it's going to last for long? I think they're just more of transitional champions.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to keep going on. CM Punk and AJ Lee, his wife, they are to be featured in the WWE Studios horror remake of Rabid. Very little is known about this movie at the time, but Punk will play a role as Billy, and AJ Lee will play as Kira, Billy's wife. As to what the roles they will be doing in the movie or what's going on is currently unknown. But again, you know what? I'm gonna toss this quickly to Lance. Lance, AJ and Punk in a WWE, not ring, but studios. Are we getting a little peek here?
Has this been officially confirmed?
Yes, it has. That was a press release.
This just sounds really weird because, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't they currently suing each other?
Actually, it was a lawsuit with the WWE. WWE and WWE Studios.
WWE are WWE Studios.
But it's also with a different entity. It's going to be like, for instance, XFL. Yes, it's under the thing. It's under the same company.
And which is coming back, by the way, folks.
Maybe we'll have...
Don't remind me.
All I can say is maybe we'll have an AJ Lee topless scene. Other than that, I don't know. It is what it is. I have an AJ Lee finish. It is what it is.
Let's go to you, Zoe. You know, yes, there are two different divisions within WWE, but I'm sure, you know, sooner or later, this is going to leak over to the WWE ring side, where people are going to say, well, if he's doing films, then they must be on okay grounds.
Well, I feel like a lot of people's going to hear about this, and they're going to get their hopes up that CM Punk and AJ Lee's coming back to WWE, but that's not going to be the instance. I like AJ Lee. I love her. She was always an idol for me, but you know, I don't know about this movie. I'm a horror movie fanatic. I've never heard of Rabid. So I feel bad for the people they're going to have to work with on set, mainly because of CM Punk.
Yeah, absolutely. He is sometimes difficult to work with.
I mean, credit's due. WWE does make good horror movies.
Right.
Absolutely. You know what? And let's go to you, Johnny, on this. What do you think?
You know what? Who gives a shit?
Short and to the point.
Absolutely. All right, Swade. Let's toss this one to you. What do you think of this of AJ and Punk?
I agree with Johnny. I could care less. I mean, yeah.
There you go. We're all gonna be seeing this movie.
No, we won't.
All right. Well, let's move on to another topic here. Sienna is leaving Impact. An article in the Squared Circle reported that Sienna has departed ways with Impact Wrestling. Back in January, she suffered a life-threatening injury as she got blood clots in each of her lungs. Ouch.
Ow.
She thought it was a possible rib injury, but it was far more serious. As of this posting, it's not clear if Sienna is retired or she will go to another promotion. Ron Alamara read somewhere that Sienna had a WWE tryout, and she did some time ago. But then she, instead of coming over to WWE, she went to Impact Wrestling. But, you know, all this has yet to be confirmed on her actual status. I'm going to toss this first to the wrestlers and former wrestlers in the group. I'm going to toss this one to Swade. When it comes to an injury, you know, especially something like this, you know, you got to take your time and you got to find out exactly what it is, because like they mentioned, it was a life-threatening injury.
Yeah, when it comes to something like a blood clot, especially in your lungs, it's not something to play with, especially with doctors. If you are like a concussion, I've had a concussion. It sucks. I mean, but especially when it comes to a blood clot, it's like I said, it's not. That's one thing. Probably upon doctors, you got to probably get a first and a second opinion, maybe possibly a third opinion for them doctors. So I mean, that one's. If she does go to WWE, they will do like they did with Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan. I mean, they will go strict to the source of the doctors and see if she's medically cleared. That's my take on it.
Absolutely. Let's go to you, Zoe. You know, Swade made a lot of great points there, and she did the right thing. She, you know, didn't renew her contract with Impact Wrestling, which is always good because you want to make sure you get paid in the business. But this gives her a chance to kind of relax and get in better shape and get healed up.
Well, I mean, as far as injuries goes, you know, luckily, knock on wood, I've not had the misfortune of getting an injury whenever it comes to wrestling, but it does plainly show you, like you said, she thought it was a couple of broken ribs. Those turned out to be much worse. So, you know, if anybody's listening that's new to the business, that's thinking about getting into the ring, you know, don't take these little injuries lightly. It could be something worse than what you think it is. You need to get checked out.
Absolutely. I remember years ago, I was we did a studio altercation where we did a studio fight, small type studio. The individual I was taking on, he was sitting in a chair, in one of those metal chairs with the armrest, and he pulled backwards like to flip us back. We all were supposed to tumble back, and my ribs hit one of those arms of the chair.
Ooh.
Now, I didn't think it at the time, because when you got the adrenaline going, you don't really think about it, but later on, it was actually a cracked rib, and I did not even know about it. And it's one of my reminders of wrestling is always be careful and be prepared for anything. So her having that injury, she needs to take the time off, in my opinion. She needs to wait and see what her options are before moving forward. Johnny, you were with me in the wrestling years, and you know your share of injuries.
Oh my God! You know, where's El Latino, Kid Blast, Chris? Where is this guy at? He'd be perfect to answer this question.
You mean the 20-year concussion?
Yeah, that's the one, exactly. Yeah, when you get injuries like that, you really need to, you know, stop, get yourself checked out and make sure you're 100% to get back in that ring. Let's not forget what happened to Russ Haas, who was under WWE developmental contract, and they stopped him from wrestling because there was an issue with his heart, if I'm not mistaken, Joe.
Yeah. Russ was an awesome guy. He worked. In fact, you guys took him and Charlie Haas back on the days.
Yeah, and when they got the developmental contract, they found out what was wrong with his heart and was like, "Yo, you're gonna have to get cleared before you even come." And lo and behold, he never got a chance because he ended up passing away.
Yep, and again, it's been a long time. Rest in peace to Russ Haas, excuse me. But he was a great guy, and him and his brother Charlie, before making it big, they used to work with us, and great people to work with. Charlie Haas is still a great guy. He does a lot of other things away from the business. He still comes back occasionally, but great guy, great people to talk to. Lance, let's go to you on this.
Well, the thing, if it does cost her career, that absolutely sucks if somebody can't do what they love to do for a living. But, hey, anything to do with your lungs is freaking serious. She needs to take whatever time she needs to get her lungs straightened out and right. Hey, all I can say is speedy recovery.
Absolutely. Rick, final word on Sienna.
Well, I think we pretty much said it all when it comes to injuries, especially today, where a lot of company promotions, primarily the WWE, take even mild injuries very, very seriously. There's been so many times in the past where we'll say WWE or WCW, where they would push their wrestlers no matter how hard they're injured. If you recall, CM Punk was one of those situations where, they said he would be out in 6 to 8 months. And he said he would get a call from Vince saying, "Hey, when can you come back? We really, really need you." Blah blah blah. And he would eventually say, "Sure, I'll come back." Again, we got over the lawsuit due to the doctor's a misdiagnosis. He said that he had kind of something in his back, and it was like they thought it was a staph infection, but it turned out to be something much worse. Thankfully, he recovered from it. But again, it just shows you from there that WWE is starting to take things a little bit
more cautiously. Yes. All right, guys, so we're going to go over. We saw the short-lived version of the. Everybody there?
Yeah, we're here.
I hear everybody breaking up a little. You know what? We saw the small reunion of Kane and Daniel Bryan doing Team Hell No. We all knew it was going to be short-lived because Kane is running in politics. He's a Republican, so he's doing what he has to do. So they did an injury that he had back in Extreme Rules. We saw it where he had pretty much a leg injury. It's supposed to be an ankle injury, but now it's like it looks like he's going to be out, and it is a kayfabe injury because he is going back to politics and he's going to continue doing his campaign. But here it is. Kane's Achilles heel injury, is it legit? Not really. These are the articles suggesting Kane's injury is legit, while others suspect it's just a storyline to have Kane written off. One of the members in our HWR chat room, William Blake Arledge, stated that he was pretty sure he's seen with a boot on the campaign trail before he was written off. He was seen backstage with the same boot that we saw him wear in Extreme Rules, but nothing has been confirmed. So, you know what? Again, we're going to go around. This time we're going to go different around the table. Rick, you pulled this out from the HWR chat room. Sounds like he already had the injury. They covered it up. And now that he's back, they kind of said, okay, you know what? We don't need you anymore. Let's continue. We'll make the fans think you got this injury. But now you're free to go back to campaigning. Is that a right assessment?
To be honest with you, when it comes to the injury, for me, it's the timeline's too convenient. We all knew that it was going to be a very short-lived situation because they probably want to do Miz and Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, because if you remember a couple of years ago when Bryan was still on the injured list, they kind of had an off TV, like out of the ring feud, and people would just say, "Well, Daniel Bryan's gonna come back and these two are gonna fight," and it kind of just, kind of dissipated for a while because Bryan wasn't cleared to wrestle. He eventually came back, and it's slowly starting to boil. So I think Kane's injury legit. Who knows? But it did what it had to do.
All right, then let's go over you, Lance. What do you think of this? Of Kane? Pretty much now he's done again, so he's gone once more.
Well, with the injury, I seem to remember something because I follow his election page, even though he's nowhere near being the governor or the mayor for the city where I live. But I seem to remember something about him actually wearing one of those walking boots. But all I know is, one way or the other, we'll know something in about 2 weeks on April 2nd. I mean, on August 2nd, which is Election Day in Tennessee.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go to you, Johnny. What do you think about the Kane, this injury, and him leaving again?
You know what? If he's injured, he's injured. If it's a story, it's a story. He's going into politics. Again, who gives a shit?
Well, obviously not you. All right, let's go to you, Zoe. What do you think?
Well, I mean, regardless if it is an injury, if it's not an injury, Kane has shown even through this political, stuff that he's got going on, if WWE needs him, he's going to take a break and he's going to come back and he's going to help them out. That may have been the case this time, but, given his age, his height, his weight, how long he's been doing this, wrestling takes a toll on your body. Maybe he did actually get hurt this time.
And that's a good point, Swade. You guys get injured more than, at least back in our day, there's more high-risk moves, but Kane is one of those workhorses that will come back, won't hold back, and then he'll go on to do his campaigning. So he'll come in, do a show, quickly run off without resting. Could that have a tribute to his injury?
Oh, that's very insightful.
Was you talking to me?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm talking to me.
Yes,
Okay. Well,
yes,
you did say. Well, I'm in my own world. Well, I have to disagree with Zoe first and foremost. I don't think WWE needs Kane. I just don't think they need that guy anymore. I mean, he's been gone for so long. That's like when Randy Orton was gone. I mean, yeah, I knew he was gone, but where the heck was everybody knows what Kane is doing right now. Mm-hmm. If he's injured, I'm sorry, that sucks. But if he isn't injured, go back to politics in Tennessee. I mean, it's because it wasn't the point of him coming back anyway. It was just to get Daniel Bryan over, and that was it. I'm sorry. Yeah, granted, if he is injured, like I said, it sucks. But give it somebody else that needs that push, like the Usos, like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I mean, come on, don't give it to a guy that's been gone for about 6-7 months, and then he's supposedly injured.
One of the things that I gotta say, and I want your opinion on this. When it comes to WWE, they hit when the talent is not getting much over. They bring out the nostalgia card. Do you think that's what happened with Team Hell No?
I think they did. I mean, it was to the point that they needed something for Daniel to do at Extreme Rules for just a little bit because they had nothing for they wanted the Miz and Daniel Bryan to go at SummerSlam. But still, like I said before, I mean, it's the fact that build it up from Extreme Rules to SummerSlam. Make the Miz go over on Daniel Bryan and then build it to that. Like I said, you have to have something or the effect to get the other guys over. It's like John Cena winning the 16-time championship. That's like Roman Reigns winning a title. Who cares about Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? Nobody cares about Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns right now. Get another guy over that the people want. Like Rusev, he is over as hell. Granted, he's not their top guy right now. AJ Styles is. Give it to the guys that deserve it, that work their butt off.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And guys, over in HWR chat room in our YouTube page.
Rick, I'm
Hello.
gonna cut you off right here, ladies and gentlemen, making his return.
Yeah,
HWR.
took the words out of my mouth.
He's right here in our chat room. He is the paranormal expert himself from the UK, the guy we missed. Andy, are you here, Andy?
I am. I'm here in
Oh, my God.
Welcome back.
sight, body,
Welcome back,
mind,
brother.
it's weird.
You crazy son of a bitch!
I just want to say something because I've been out the stream with wrestling. I've had to do a lot of catching up. But one thing that really pisses me off, well, two things actually. I don't know whether you've actually done this in the broadcast. Number one, last pay-per-view, the Extreme Rules. If Brock Lesnar does not turn up at Monday Night Raw, I'll fire his ass. He doesn't turn up at Monday Night Raw, but they let him have a match, supposedly, at SummerSlam. But at SummerSlam, we're going to have Roman Reigns against Bobby Lashley. So, who is Brock Lesnar going to fight? Please don't tell me it's Triple H again.
No. It's actually next Monday. It's Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. And the winner gets to meet Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Again.
Right.
Well, just in case nobody... If you don't like spoilers, put your finger in your ears.
Roman Reigns.
Yep.
More like
Round about September, October is
Yep.
Brock Lesnar's next fight in UFC. That's official. It's on the webpage.
Absolutely. You know what? And I'm going to toss this. Here. We got George who commented on the HWR show chat room. He says, new merchandise from the Uber of Westchester. Shirts, mugs, and hats. All with the saying, who gives a shit?
Is he upset? Is he upset because I said he sucked at my trivias? Is that what it is?
No, he's just offering merchandise ideas.
And can Vince pull the rug from under somebody as much as they have done with Roman Reigns? Saying all the fans keep saying he's being pushed. It was his yard. He's beat The Undertaker. It's his yard. And then he loses against Bobby Lashley. WWE, what are you doing? Are you on fucking cannabis or something?
I went-
I think
you're
it's
on
more
some
than
bad
cannabis.
shit.
Okay,
You're on some
first,
bad shit. You're smoking horse shit, I think.
Oh, my God. I miss you, Randy. I love you.
Let's go to Dark
Triple
Spade.
H wants a bullet. Anyone who thinks Triple H will make the WWE better after Vince McMahon's death is a total retard.
And that's why everybody missing. Let's go to you, Dark Swade. What do you think?
okay, me personally, The Undertaker's a legend in our industry. Okay, I mean,
He should be out of it.
he is untouched, unparalleled, the major league icon of our business. But the thing is, though, I don't give a crap if Roman Reigns beat him. Brock Lesnar, everybody knows, you know, he won. But I don't care who you are, what you've done. Nobody can lace Undertaker's boots in this industry. I am a big Hulk Hogan fan. Granted, not even Terry Bollea could even lace his boots up. I don't care.
Absolutely. You know, Undertaker has gone through many incarnations throughout the years, and he's been the locker room leader, even back during the Attitude Era and before. So
I've heard Hulk Hogan's got to tie every black person's boots on planet Earth.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and that's
No,
why.
Only half of WWE's roster. The rest of them said, okay, well, fine, we'll forgive you.
They've only put him back in the what do they call it? The Illuminati? No, the Illuminati. That's what I'm
Illuminati.
Yeah, actually, they put him
They've
back in the Hall of
only
Fame.
put him in their role of Hall of Fame type scenario on their webpage because he's tying.
Yep. You know what? We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's go on to another topic here. Finn Balor has been on a losing streak since dropping the WWE title due to an injury. You know, we've been seeing a lot of matches. He'll win a little bit of simple matches, but the most of it he's been on a bad losing streak, and he's even dropped the demon gimmick. Now, granted, the demon gimmick is hard. It takes about 2 hours to put together, and they're not going to spend that much money on pretty much on a Monday Night Raw. But we're not even seeing it on a pay-per-view. So, you know, what's going on with Finn Balor? Let's go to you, Dark Suede, first. Insightful. Very interesting.
Demon persona. He's Mr. Average.
Yeah, I had to agree with Andy. Ever since they got rid of the demon thing, he's really kind of lost his, push. He comes out and he, pulls his leather jacket like he's Mr. Fonzarelli. Comes to the ring, does the same music, and just he's really lost that kind of flavor and that flair.
Surely they could get him like a skin-tight bodysuit that could have the paint on, pretty much like, say,
El Gigante?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Gold Dust.
Yeah, he could have the actual stuff painted on and permanently painted on. That'd be the cheaper alternative.
Absolutely. You know what? And hopefully it's not like El Gigante that he had that bush sewn to between his legs.
Oh, Jesus, Joe.
Bushfire.
Well, at least they're not doing pyro, so we don't have to worry about him catching on fire. Zoe, let's go to your thoughts on Finn Balor.
I mean, I like Finn. I've always been a Finn Balor fan. I mean, you guys can say that he's lost his push. Yeah, he definitely has with WWE. They're not pushing him anymore. But the thing is, as soon as his music hits, he instantly gets a pop, whether it's just Finn Balor or if it's the Demon. Now, personally, for me, I like the Demon effect of it, the face paint, all of that. Yeah, it's probably aggravating to deal with, but I mean, you're putting on a show for all these other people that's there to see you. If you put on that Demon makeup, people's gonna sit there and think, oh shit, man, he's gonna pull out some dark heavy shit on us, and they're gonna be more into it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Lance, let's go to you. Let's continue what she just said there. You know, right, the Demon gimmick was his forte, and now it's not there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he only used to pull out the Demon on special occasions. Now, not at all. But when I heard you say this, he on a losing streak. Didn't he just beat Corporate Corbin at Extreme Rules?
Yes, he did. But, however, if you watch the match again, Corbin dominated the match from start to finish. Finn Balor got a quick roll up, and then after that, Corbin beat the shit out of him again. So even though he's getting wins, he's still getting his ass kicked.
And you know what? And it's not always about, it's proven that he's the underdog. He can go in there. He can get, he can get the wins in and eke that win out. We've all, I'm talking about the people who've been in wrestling here and who are still in wrestling. A win is a win if you can get it out of there, but you want to also look a little bit good doing that as well. And
not Kevin Owens Sunday night.
Yeah,
God.
And we still have yet to see the poor bastard back. But yeah, we have to see what goes on with him. Lance, I think you're up.
I just went.
Oh, yeah, okay. He just went. I think we're over to Suede.
Yep, let's go to Suede then. Yeah, we're all paying attention here.
Yeah. Well, the terminology was he wasn't getting over by Vince. That's what I've heard ever since his injury, but that's why he's not being pushed, or sort of speaking. It's actually, instead of the trance, he's actually acting like mummified, and he's basically not being pushed because, like I said, Vince says he's not over enough. Like Zoe said, I think he's freaking over. If he's not over, then send him back to Japan. I mean, he wants to go back to Japan. He was a legend in Japan. I mean, let the guy do what the hell he wants to do. Give some of these guys them do what they want to do. That's
Hell
Vince's
yeah.
problem. That's with my character, let alone. I have the freedom to do what I want with my character whenever I want. Granted, I have to talk somewhat to him, but the thing is, you have boundaries, what you can and can't do. Why can't you give this man freedom to do what? I don't care if it takes 2-3 hours. Get there plenty enough time. There's your character. Boom, done.
Absolutely. You know what? And I think right now also WWE is very overcrowded with these folks. So we're kind of seeing that scenario where, they just don't have enough room for everyone. So hopefully this, he can get back on his streak or get an opportunity or even a bigger push. Maybe right now with Dolph Ziggler holding the Intercontinental Championship, maybe that might be something that they could be pushing Finn.
Quit putting Roman Reigns in the main event. Put him in there.
Absolutely.
Give like I said earlier. Give somebody else. I didn't mean to cut you off, but give somebody else a shot instead of the same exact guy. Yes, fans are wanting to boo Roman Reigns. Yes, I know he's your marquee guy. Turn him heel like they should have done John Cena. Granted, he's your main marquee guy. Turn his butt heel. They don't like him because they won't want him to. Vince's baby, yes.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with that. Let's go to you, Zoe.
I mean, as far as, the whole Finn Balor thing, going back to what Sway just said, if it's going to take 2 hours to do your makeup, then get there in plenty enough time. That's like for me and him tomorrow. We have to travel to Lexington, and we're putting on a show. Form of face paint. I'll probably end up while I'm riding with my promoter's wife and his kids. I'm probably going to be painting my face on the way up there, just so I know that I've got it on and I'm ready to go.
Yep, exactly. You know what? And we'll have to see how it goes. Let's go to you, Rick.
Well, I said before, I think Finn, again, maybe they're just trying to see, okay, fine, we gave you this push. The fans are pretty much spend more time chanting when he comes out, and then when he comes to the ring, they're kind of like, okay, yeah, we've seen this move before, we've seen this move. It's like John Cena. He only has a very limited moveset, despite the fact that he is a high flyer. He is fast-paced, but I mean, you could watch this match after match after match, and you could pick out 15 of the moves that he's done before.
Yep, and over in the HWR show in the YouTube chat room, it's Eric C. says, hey, y'all. So, hey, Eric, welcome to the chat. So, you know what? And we're going to switch gears into another topic real quick because we're coming down to the final moments here. Ladies and gentlemen, the mouthpiece of announcing WWE. This is a man who's been in the WWE back when it was back when it was pretty much he started. And I'm talking about there's no other person, I will say there's been a couple of people who've been great on the microphone to announce, but Howard Finkel will always be the best. And there's reports going around that he is not doing well. Jerry the King Lawler announced that legendary ring announcer Howard Finkel is in bad shape. Lawler stated that he was not sure what his health issue is, just that he is not doing well. And I hope that Howard Finkel is we never really talk about the staff, like the ring announcers and the referee. Here is Howard Finkel, who's a legend in the WWE, and we can only hope that he is, gets better. Johnny, we both know Howard Finkel well enough from those announcing days back in the old WWF days.
He just had that voice. he had that distinctive voice. You can't beat it. You knew when he was calling out the main event. I mean, it was like exciting because Howard Finkel was announcing it. I remember one time I was working security at the local mall in New York, and the phone rings and it says World Wrestling Fed. So I'm like, whoa! I figured they were calling me for come up for a
tryout.
A tryout, but turned out to go, hi. You may not know who I am. I said, you're Howard Finkel. He goes, do you know my voice? I said, who doesn't? So he just had that voice. You knew it was him. He had a great voice for the business. For ring announcing, top notch. You can't beat it. For professional wrestling, him and Gordon Soley, one of the best.
And we're gonna go around the table. When you think about personalities, you have Mean Gene Okerlund, who's another one. When you close your eyes and you hear that voice, he is the commentator. He's the interviewer. Howard Finkel is the man of the mic. And there's been others that come along afterwards, but you will never forget Howard Finkel. And I just hope that he gets better. Let's go to you, Zoe. What is your favorite Howard Finkel moment?
Oh God, I think all those times that Mae Young kind of chased him around the ring trying to get some sugar. But I mean, I hope that he's okay. That breaks my heart to hear that he's not doing so good. I mean, a lot of you guys who's been in the business, who's currently in the business, I'm sure will agree with me. Yeah, the wrestlers, the managers, they do the most crucial parts of the show. They put their bodies on line. But to run a show, it's got to be a one gigantic team, one gigantic unit.
Correct. Yep.
Absolutely.
I can't agree more.
Let's go to you, Dark Suede.
Well, my memory of Howard Finkel was actually in Dayton, Ohio. I went to a show. I was really, really young, to be honest with you. Howard Finkel was actually announcing the main event when it was the World Wrestling Federation. It was, God rest his soul, Owen Hart was part of the main event. The Undertaker back in when he was the Demon, the sadistic Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, and a few others. But that's my fine memory that I remember of Howard Finkel because of that main event. That was actually my first, besides as a WWF at that point in time, was WWF in Blanchester, Ohio. I went to a show there, but Howard Finkel was there and whatnot. So I mean that was enjoyable. But on TV, the CM Punk situation when he announced, because even CM Punk was telling him about his time. He's so used to the guy telling him, "Hey, you're on TV." I mean that was my memorable moment.
And that's again I remember that as well. Let's go to you, Lance. Howard Finkel moment.
Well, granted, Howard Finkel is pretty much the master of announcing when it comes in the wrestling business. Michael Buffer or Bruce Buffer, they were both good, but they can't compete with the Fink. But honestly, my memory has nothing to do with him announcing something. It happened at the SummerSlam. I know the name they called it was The Highway to Hell. I want to say it was like 97 or 98 when Finkel got his head shaved in the middle of the ring.
Oh, yeah. I can't pierce the day myself, but I do remember that. Rick, final word on Howard Finkel.
Well, actually, I wanted to kick it over the son of a bitch because you know what? We love hearing his rants. But real quick, I'm just going to say this. Howard Finkel, definitely the best. 10 times better than Leon Garcia ever was. Andy, over to you.
Sorry, I got my mic done. The thing I can remember about Howard Finkel was when he had a match with, I think it was Lillian Garcia, and he was in a tuxedo and she stripped all his clothes off. Not a pretty sight.
No.
Yeah.
the only thing I can say, I think he's got swollen tongue disease from sticking it up Vince's arse so far.
Yes.
But there is a true story.
Damn.
There is a true story told by Jim Cornette that he's got the biggie or hugest porn collection on VHS. So maybe he's wanking himself to death.
Draining
It
himself.
could be.
No,
Draining the python.
Star.
I mean, Damien's died, so he's draining his own python.
Damn
Oh
it,
my
why am I
God.
picturing this? Ew! Ah!
And that's
Yeah,
why we
we-
miss Andy.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, you know, you thought HWO was bad when the son of a bitch is on. He just takes it to a whole new level.
You
I
know,
could just hear Howard Finkel now at the next WrestleMania. Welcome to WrestleMania!
That's more of a self WrestleMania.
Howard, this is not WrestleMania anymore. It's the, this is
Or-
a Monday Night Raw.
Put your pants back on.
Yeah. You're fired. All right. Folks. Now, and this is where we
Howard,
get to
you
the.
do-
Go ahead, Andy. What the hell is that? Howard Finkel driving by?
What is it? What is it?
Sorry about that.
All right.
I'm in.
Come in.
You don't want to walk into this thing here.
Housekeeping? Housekeeping?
All right, folks. Let's go into the main topic here, and this is going to be a really touchy subject for everybody. Let's see where it goes. Hulk Hogan getting reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame, brother. Hulk Hogan was backstage at Extreme Rules where he apologized to everyone back there about the racial statements he made several years ago, brother. Unfortunately, the apology fell on deaf ears, and some felt like he was just apologizing just for the sake of apologizing, brother. I'm going to put in my point here, and then we'll go quickly around. I think what and I hate to say this, and I said it privately with the group here, none of us are really open racists or bigots or anything, but regardless of anything, there's sometimes in the heat of the moment that little bit of tiny little racism does boil over from inside, and it's not sometimes doesn't you don't mean it, but at least sometimes people do say it, and in today's media, in today's world, everybody takes a little thing and takes it to a huge level. The statement that Hulk Hogan made, I'm not going to say it here, was done in the heat of the moment, and somebody took his private conversation and put it out there on the public. And of course, what happened is just like a balloon effect. It kept growing and growing until it pops. And unfortunately, it cost Hulk Hogan pretty much a lot, even though he won money from Gawker, who was the one that put out that tape with him saying it. But to the wrestling world, it kind of damaged who he is. Now, I'm going to put it this way. Just like I do with Chris Benoit, just like I do with Rockin' Rebel, who's a good buddy of mine, I'm separating the worker from the actual person. Hulk Hogan, the WWF champion, the guy who made Hulkamania, will be a favorite moment in my life, because that's the first wrestler. When I was young, I turned on the TV back in 1984, and that's the first person I saw, and he was winning the championship from the Iron Sheik. And then throughout the years, so in the heat of the moment, somebody took, they took his content of what he said, and it just went overboard. So, hopefully the staff gets over it. It's put it behind and let's go, because we all know Vince is going to put it far behind him, and he's going to start rolling out the Hulk Hogan merchandise. Let's go to you, Rick.
I think you pretty much said it. I think there's a difference between somebody making a racist comment and then being a racist. I've said things in the heat of the moment. I can look back and say maybe I shouldn't have said that or not, but the problem is today, especially in the social media, everybody has that hand hovering over the hate speech button. You say one little thing or make one little innuendo, and boop, that's it. You're labeled a racist, you're labeled a bigot or what have you. Andy, I know you're always the one who kind of just gets over and makes you say what you got to say. So I'm going to kick it over to you.
I just think it's anyone listening don't like, as Joe's already said, none of us are racist in any way, shape or form, but what I'm going to say is something that sounds racist, and I don't care if it upsets people. I'm known for saying it as it is. But whatever Hulk Hogan said in the heat of the moment should not have affected what he'd done in his WWE career. Because if people should be done for racism, I should have had the electric chair years ago. Because if I'm driving down the road and some coloured guy pulls out in front of me, he's called every black bee under the sun. Now, if that's racist, I hold my hand up and I should go to jail and have the electric chair.
Oh, we love you, Andy.
Absolutely. And, I even wrote a blog real quick, and I even said, when somebody cuts you off, you got to call that person a cocksucker.
Yeah.
Now, if you say that in the workplace, oh my God, how dare you? In the WWE, you probably wouldn't be able to finish the sentence.
You cock.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
If
cocksucker probably fits well in when it comes to Vince. Ask his workers, they'll know. How many times do they have to blow just to get to the position they are? The Bellas are one.
The problem is, though, Joe, that the racism card's thrown around too often now, and it's getting a bit of a joke. It's getting to the point where you can't even speak. I mean, in the UK, you sit in the school classroom and they write on a chalking board. When I went to school, it was a fucking blackboard.
Yeah, the terminologies have been
racist.
softened incredibly just to appease everyone, and
Yeah, and then my son came home from school many moons ago with, "Dear Mr. Blah Blah Blah, can you please stop teaching your child Bar Bar Black Sheep? It is not an appropriate nursery rhyme."
Oh my God.
I wrote on the bottom on the letter, "You can suck my dick."
And you can see
Twice if I like.
Black Sheep's racist.
Now, let's go to you, Johnny. What do you think of the Hulk Hogan situation?
He should have never been taken out in the first place. I don't care who you are. Sometime in your life you said something derogatory against another race, person, creed, whatever. So for them to take him out was just plain stupidity. It really was. I'm glad he's back in there. Yes, McMahon has the green in his eyes and all that crazy stuff, but in all honesty, he should have never been taken out in the first place.
All right, let's go to you, Lance.
As long as they haven't had him back, so it's Hulk Hogan against Undertaker.
Yeah.
It could be Hogan and Brock Lesnar. You never know.
Well, that was real Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a Hulk Hogan fan. I'm glad he's back in the Hall of Fame where he justly belongs. I don't want to see him back in the ring. Similarly, The Undertaker. People could say, oh, Undertaker's great. Well, unfortunately, he's riding his own carpet. He should have just retired when Roman Reigns beat him, and then that would have been that.
I've just thought of a three-way dance they could have at WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan,
Three-way geriatric dance.
And The Undertaker. It could be a arm caliper, walker, whatever you call them in America, and disabled scooter match. Winner takes all.
Scooter on a pole match.
There we go.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe.
Okay. He should not have been taken out of the Hall of Fame, period, because the man's done great work all throughout his years. He's gave blood, sweat, and tears. As far as what he said, anybody and everybody, we say things whenever we stub our toe. We say, oh, shit, or at least we do in my family. And given the situation that he said what he said, for those who don't know, it's rumored that Brooke, his daughter, was in an abusive relationship. And he found out, and that's why he said it. And Dark Spade already knows about this. Last year, I finally opened up to my parents, previously to meeting my husband, I was in a very physical, abusive relationship myself for 2 long years. It was my life on the line. But whenever I finally told my dad is a Baptist deacon, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. But my dad does not cuss. Whenever I told him, yeah, he beat me every single day, my dad said, I'll kill that son of a bitch.
Zoe,
yeah.
Zoe, stop talking about that.
Anyway, what I'm saying, though, is whenever you're worried about your child, you're going to say stuff in the heat of the moment. He should not have been taken out of the Hall of Fame whatsoever. I'm glad he's put back in it.
Let's go ahead, Rick.
Well, like I said, if I get interject again, first off, I would apologize. I would have said, look, you know what? I said this what I said. You know, if you were offended, fine, but it wasn't directed to a Jew. And you know what? If it would happen again, I'd say it again. You know, try to backtrack something like that, especially on that context. I wouldn't give a shit. I'm like, yep, I said it. You want to get all upset and all teary-eyed, and you want to, go cry in the corner, a bitch of the world. Go ahead, go do what you gotta do.
Yep. Let's go to you, Swain.
Well, I was 3 years old when this man won the World Wrestling Federation Championship. I was 3. I've been in the business for 15 years. If it wasn't for this man, Terry Bollea, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan, I would not be in the business. I don't swear a lot, but I could give 2 shits of what he motherfucking said. If I talked to a woman like I would, if I wanted to, but I wouldn't, if I ever see, racial is like calling somebody gay now is bad for gay guys. Basically saying the word that we know what we're not allowed to say is something saying we're not allowed to say in that word. So get over yourself, get over your egos, and grow a set of balls if you have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to go off topic real quick when it comes to this. Our society has changed so badly that people can't take when you speak your mind. And, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. Hell, I was in wrestling in the 90s. And we cursed, we said stuff backstage, we said stuff in the locker room. And it was a hell of a fun time, and nobody took it serious. Everybody joked about it. It's like you call someone a racial name, like a spick or a black person name. You took it with a grain of salt because we didn't have that. We didn't need that. We were all looking at it as a joke, and we have more important things to worry about.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say something on that. These kids nowadays that have not broken the business for about a year, 2 years, have no common sense. And especially when it comes to the business, I have, and Zoe will back me up for this. Mm-hmm. I love our business. I love professional wrestling. I get on my son's nerves and my wife's nerves. I watch wrestling 24/7, 7 days a week. Yes, I don't watch Impact because I don't get it. But that's I am a fanatic because I want to make I think wrestling, yes, I may be a heel, I may be a bad guy, but the guy is different. I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. I've been a fan since I was a little kid in diapers, crawling around with a Hulk Hogan doll. That's what I've been doing. I'm a Sting fan. I enjoy professional wrestling. I'm a sucker for it. I love it. When you walk into the door, I ask how everybody's doing. Wrestling is supposed to be fun. It's not like it's, oh my God, this person is getting a belt. This person's getting this belt. Oh my God. It's not about that. That's what's the problem with this industry today. That's sad.
It's completely changed even from our day. I had my run from 1990 to 94 as an active manager. I've had...
Man, you're making me feel young.
You are young, you young whippersnapper.
I'm 37.
Oh, that's okay. Add another say another 12 years to that. You know.
Oh, that's 100, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it feels that way. My mentor, my teacher was Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, and I went going with Eddie, training with him, being his little roadie. It was fun because here's a guy I grew up watching on TV. Here's a guy I watched in the UWF when it was Mid-South, when he was with ECW, when he was with the NWA. And wrestling was fun. Wrestling was like, hell, and I use this analogy today, Johnny knows. People don't pop anymore. They popped in the Attitude Era, but the popping, the real serious pops, is when Ricky Morton was getting his ass kicked by the Four Horsemen and they were screaming, "Go, Ricky, go! Go, Robert, go!" And
or the Horsemen beating up Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. That's when that was heat.
Yes.
You don't get heat like that anymore. I mean, these guys would do a drop kick and the fans would pop just for the drop kick.
Johnny did this.
You guys haven't been down to KCW when I get the heck beat out kicked out of me, the crowd pops. When I got thrown over Saturday, they actually got a pop. Somebody actually, I forget who it was, but somebody threw me out and the crowd popped. I mean, literally, because I went over the top rope. I am hated in KCW. Nobody, the fans do not like me at all. I am the most biggest. I'm probably one of the top 2 heels right now in KCW.
Dark Slade gets threatened. Like anytime his music comes on, fans stand up. They're ready for him. As he's walking by, they try to get in his face. They try to threaten him. He does his job, and he does it very good.
You know.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off. I have a great person to thank most of all, and you know, if it wasn't for him, I get teary-eyed talking to him about it. If it wasn't for Johnny Ray Rice, aka Johnny Bad, I don't think I would have a career in Kentucky. If it wasn't, I mean, Johnny's went through a lot. He lost his mom last year to cancer, but Johnny is one of my mentors. So is Tomahawk. So is Scott Diamond. Guys that, you know, I don't talk bad about people. Also, he you know, I feud with him, but he's also one of my best friends in the business. Super Assassin. If it wasn't for these guys paving the way for me, I wouldn't have what I have. Still love for the business, because a while back I had a rough patch I love wrestling. I mean, I get teary-eyed talking about it, but I love professional wrestling so much. I mean, when I go out there, I enjoy it. And I don't mean to take up too much time, but I do apologize. I enjoy it, even for the last 15 years. When I go out to that curtain, whether you hate me or love me, I love going out in that curtain. I mean, I enjoy it. And Roger Rufford, especially for the NWF promotion in Ohio and Cincinnati, I can't thank enough for him as well. I mean, Carl Anderson, also known as Chad Allegra, Jay Donaldson, and Ryan Stone in the NWF. I mean, those guys have helped me tremendously. I mean, there's nothing, I can't thank enough to them guys, as well as Zoe. I mean, and Big Frank Vanover. I mean, you know, there's nothing I can say.
Yeah, you know one thing, Johnny, you're still here, right? Hey, Johnny!
I think somebody called it.
Yeah, I think even I took off the mic after a while.
I'm here.
There he's here.
I'm here. The great one is here.
Wake up!
Listen, wake up.
Pay attention.
You know, one thing, when you listen to Dark Suede, I think there's one word that brings it up, and I know you and me have been there before we became disgruntled. Back in our day, I think what the one word that it emphasizes what he just said with everything is passion.
Passion, absolutely.
It's the
100%.
passion for the business, the passion to lace up those boots, to step through those curtains and literally get booed, cheered. It's what it is. And you know, we've been there all my life. In my career, I've been a heel, and I've never been a baby face. You know, and it's
I've always loved being the heel. Absolutely.
yeah. We know how you love being a heel. I got chased out of Knoxville. You got almost chased out of Brooklyn.
That's right. You.
You did get chased out of Knoxville.
Yes.
Did any of you guys watch? I assume you did watch Extreme Rules.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, I thought I was watching Kevin Owens' son jumping up and down on his bed, really excited about his match, and then realised it was Kevin Owens being thrown off the cage onto a crash mat.
You know what? And it was really funny when we called that. We saw that when he hit that, and we saw that crash mat blow out the front of the table. We laughed, and you could see the cameras like, "Get it off there! Get it off there!" You know, don't look at that table. And, but you know what, fans? Go ahead.
I actually rewinded it and actually did not see that. I still don't know what. I actually watched it 3 or 4 different times, and I still did not.
I'll show it to you tomorrow.
Watch the front end of the table when the top comes away from the bottom, like an airbag. And you see these stuntmen, they jump off a building, they have an airbag, and then the moment they hit it, it deflates. That's what he lands on.
Yeah.
They're inflating it as he lands on it, and as he hits it, it compresses, and you can see it go down.
Yeah.
But if you look at the front of the table, before he hits the table, the front of the table breaks away. You can see an airbag pop out like a car airbag, but it's black.
No, actually, what happened is the best way to say it. When you see him fall, and he hits the table, they hit an angle that is a direct, straight angle, and it's from where Kane is standing. It's to the right. It's a right angle towards the table and Kane, and you could see this black, like, bubble sticking out of the cage. So what happened was this airbag did not deflate. So when he hit it, he hit a hard airbag, and it really didn't deflate. It just rolled over to the front and blew out the front of the table. That's the only angle you're going to see it. And quickly, when they realized that, they switched it to the other angles.
Yeah.
But we all managed to catch it. And with that, fans, we went into overtime. And goddamn, you know, we had a great show. First of all, I know for the HWR crew, welcome back, Andy.
Yay!
Thank you.
Son of a bitch.
I'll try and keep awake a lot longer.
Every show that you're not on, we still give you props for Stoked Haunted. But we're glad that you came. You joined us on the show tonight, and we thank Dark Suede for being part of here. We'd like to definitely have a sit down with you and go over your career some more when we have time, and get your.
I'll be up for it.
There you go. Maybe bring some more of Carnage, huh, Zoe?
Hell yeah!
And with that, we're gonna switch over and say thanks for everybody for listening in. Again, you can check us all out. I am Joseph Skoldron Knight, one-time wrestling manager, one-time promoter, and now streamer and annoying person. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just do the hashtag Skoldron's Realm, and you can see me playing a lot of different games, doing movie and TV reviews, so check me out on that. I'm going to be doing a new thing that's coming up. I'm going to be, on Sunday, I'm going to do a review of the returning Clone Wars series. For those who are Star Wars fans, the Clone Wars are coming back. And they're going to finish it up. So I'm going to be going on that. Let's go around the table. First of all, he is the incomparable one, Lance Moss. Lance, tell everybody about Lance Moss TV.
Well, I've had to put Lance Moss TV and Friends on a bit of a hiatus. I'm having some technical issues. But every Friday, I put out a video, and Redneck Gourmet is going strong. And you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/Lance Moss TV. All
right. Let's go over to you, Andy. Again, you've been missed. Tell everybody about Stoked Haunted.
Yeah, we are Stoke Haunted. We're a paranormal investigation team with a difference, which means we actually tell the truth and we don't feed you with bullshit. Unfortunately, due to ill health, I've not done anything for the last 4 to 6 weeks, but hopefully we'll get back on the horse and ride off into the sunset. So if you want to check out what we do and laugh, thumbs down, criticise, whatever, go to www.stokehaunted.com. Please rate, subscribe, or insult, I don't mind.
Actually, it kind of encourages them.
Yeah, he encourages it. And he is not only the IPTV guy, but he is the Uber of Westchester. Zoe?
Oh, Lord. The Uber of Westchester.
Oh, I love that.
I've just made a mess in my pants. Can you do that?
Zoe, you want to say it again for him?
Okay, I'll do it again. The Uber of Westchester.
Oh, I get
Now
chills on my back.
And now we just got a triple X rating.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
going to have to get you to do some voiceovers on my videos.
Zoe, you're in trouble tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
All right, Johnny, tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. I'm here to save everybody money and all their streaming needs, whether it's movies, TV shows, pay-per-views, sporting events, cable, you name it, I'll help you save it. You can check my Instagram out at IPTV_guy. If you have any questions, you can email me at gr8iptv@gmail.com. And if anyone's interested in joining for Uber part-time, I know Rick doesn't like it, but I gotta say it anyway. You can catch my YouTube page. Every week I do my part-time earnings working for Uber in Westchester County where I live. You can catch me at the Uber of Westchester and also on Instagram with the same name, the Uber of Westchester. And I also like to say to all my friends at Kentucky Fried Wrestling, you guys are lucky us New Yorkers don't go down there. Because I'll make you heels turn face. I'll make you heels turn face before you even know it.
All right, she is Zoe Nightshade. Tell everybody about yourself, Kate.
Thank you, Stuck.
Well, obviously, I'm in trouble tomorrow. But yeah, I'm Zoe Nightshade of Kentucky Zone Wrestling. We are a promotion full of some of the most talented wrestlers in the indie circuit in Kentucky. You can actually catch me and Dark Sway tomorrow night in Lexington, Kentucky, if any of you listeners are near that way, about 7:30. Or you can catch me on Zoe Nightshade on my Facebook, or just my regular Facebook, Kayla Hobbs.
All right. All right, Dark Sway, tell everybody where they can find you if you're on Facebook.
First and foremost, Zoe, you are in trouble tomorrow. But secondly, like she said, I will be at the Lexington Fair, 7:30 bell time. But also, next Friday, next Friday and Saturday, I will be in Frankfort, Kentucky, wrestling for KEPW, and Bill Dundee will be in Evansville, Indiana, next weekend. Me and my partner Sebastian Cage will be in a ladder match next week, and then the following week I will be in Wilmington, Ohio for Northern Wrestling Federation action. But I also mainly will be tomorrow with my manager Zoe Nightshade and my tag team partner and Carnage brother, Big Frank Vanover. And you can always check me at Johnny Slade on my Facebook page, but also in any other way you can find me. But like I said, thank you guys for having me, and Zoe, as always. I appreciate it very much. I just want to thank you guys.
Oh, anytime.
It's a pleasure having you, brother.
And this is to Johnny. You can take your New York Yankees and shove it up your ass.
Oh,
and your
shit, I knew it was coming.
So, yeah. I forgot. If you're not a Mets fan, too, as well.
Let me tell you something, you Golden Boy Fried Chicken. Don't get me started, because me and Joe go down there. We're sure what wrestling's all about.
Yeah. We will have to bring the entire Evil Alliance down there. That'll be something we'll have to work on with you guys and try to pull
Absolutely.
it off.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Bring the HWR banner and drag Lance along, because I need someone to guide us through Tennessee.
Hey, Joe, if you're scared, say you're scared to come through Tennessee.
Damn right. Last time I was there, I was chased out because we attacked Brad Armstrong.
Well, you learned
And
something.
Bob
You're not
Armstrong.
gonna do that again, are you?
Yeah. That's what I always say. Those people in the South sure believe they're wrestling. Wrestling. All right, Rick, I think it's time for you to take over this asylum.
Well, guys, as always, this is Hardcore Wrestling Radio 4 Corner Ranch. Joe is always hosting. Usually we are on Thursday nights, 8 p.m., but sometimes we're over on Saturdays, so you're going to kind of have to keep up with us. But we're always going to keep a little note out for you. As to where else you can find us, the HWR chat room in the group section over on Facebook. We do the latest news. We're always, again, doing our podcast, a lot of tribute videos. Head on over to the HWR chat, Facebook. Oh, don't mind me, guys. I'm a little stoned right now. Over on YouTube, under the name HWR Show.
Yep, and we want to thank the guys there, Eric C., Big George, and everybody else who's listening on to the show. Thanks to Suede, Zoe, and the other folks from Kentucky's Own Wrestling. We hope to have more of you on here as well. We'll be bringing on the eastern side of the Inks, Johnny. We will have to bring the guys from our side on here as well to do interviews. So we'll all be getting. I want to bring out the indie market. We shouldn't always be talking about WWE, but unfortunately, WWE covers everything.
It's the only one left.
Yeah, jeez. Let's dig up Vern Gagne and reinvent him.
God.
Or find Jim Crockett. Or bring back, what was it? Oh, God, Cowboy Bill Watts.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go. And with that, folks, I'm going to say thanks for listening in and have a nice night, and we'll see you next week.
Buy the shirt!
Bye. Thanks, Lance, for throwing that in. And people still caught that.